How do you communicate with your friends and family on a daily basis? I would venture to guess it's via phone. I'm here to talk about one of our country's top technological firms of all time, Apple. My name is Lauren Castillo, and I'm a student at the University of North Florida. And as a detailed researcher, I feel qualified to inform you about my chosen topic, Apple and Steve Jobs. Now, you can't have a company without first discussing its founders. Steve Jobs was born in February of 1955 in San Francisco, California, according to Daily, where he was given up for adoption due to his birth parents' religious background. He was adopted by the Jobs, and later on in his life, he dropped out of college after one semester in Portland to work for a famous video game company, Atari, according to Sterling. He also later in life joined the Homebrew Computer Club, according to the New Scientist, where he met Steve Wozniak, who, according to MIT, also attended college without finishing his degree at UC Berkeley. He studied with a background of electrical engineering and computer science. After the two met, they decided to continue their joint business venture of creating a computer. In order to fund this venture, they began selling some of their prized possessions: Jobs, a Volkswagen, and Wozniak, an HP programmable calculator. Their first company was called Apple IS, which they started out of Jobs' family's garage. They sold their computers for $666 apiece. Their next venture was called Apple II, which they started on April Fool's Day in 1976, which included a plastic casing with a video game card inside. Wozniak left the company in 1985, but make no mistake, there is no Apple without Wozniak. Now, what made Jobs so successful? Jobs was Apple's CEO from 1980 after taking the company public till 1985. In 1983, he brought on John Sculley, a former Pepsi president, who in 1985 removed him from his office. Why? It's likely either due to Jobs' temperamental behavior, his unwillingness to provide equal opportunity for his employees, or his unwillingness to compromise. After Jobs was removed from Apple, he acquired Pixar, a famous animation company, and started a new technology company called Next. 11 years later, Apple bought out Next in 1996. Why? Because according to Steinworth, Sculley was facing dire financial issues in 1997, as market shares were down 3.8%, which, for a billion-dollar company, is quite a lot of money. Jobs could either be described as a transformative leader, as coined by James McGregor Burns, and characterized as KK and Kumar. A transformative leader is someone who not only values growth within an organization, but at a personal level as well. The top 5 ways to implement being a transformative leader is being creative, inspiring, a visionary, empowering, and passionate. Now, Jobs was no doubt creative, a visionary, and passionate. However, where he seemed to fall short was being inspiring and empowering. He could better be characterized as being a charismatic leader. According to Sharma Grant, his use of narration was his true value to Apple. His ability to not only market his technology, but market the lifestyle that he hoped his technology would help create. That was his true value to Apple. Now, was his legacy just confined to animation and technology, or was it bigger than that? If you were to look purely at the numbers, Jobs' death in 2011, according to the Applied Economic Letters, caused Apple's market stock to drop 5.76%, which, for a $350 billion company, is $20.16 billion, which is quite a lot of money, even though there was an established CEO at the time, Tim Cook. Furthermore, his death as a result of pancreatic cancer brought awareness to one of the biggest medical crises in America of our time, cancer. According to a study done by Communication Research Reports, his diagnosis led 4.5% of their information to look into information and prevention of pancreatic cancer in order to help protect themselves. If this study was meant to represent the American population, that meant 4.5% of Americans looked into cancer, which is a huge legacy. Comprehensively, I hope I've given you information about who Steve Jobs was and his importance to our country, and a little bit about the bite out of the apple. Thank you.